Hello folks, Simon Gorza from Rio Products here at the 2018 IFCD, introducing some new stuff. And in this time, we're actually going to introduce something that I'm madly passionate about. I'm a massive spey caster. I love spey casting. I like this two-handed rod and the game of spey, and I have done all my life. And I love trout fishing. You know, I mean, where I live and where I have lived in Montana, Idaho, and fishing all around those areas, it's great trout country. So when you put those two together, you get this thing called trout spey. And what trout spey is, very briefly and very quickly, if you don't know what it is, trout spey rods are two-handed rods, less than 12 feet. And they're in 2 weights, 3 weights, 4 weights, and 5 weights. So they used to be called switch rods, but now terminology's changed, and now they are trout spey rods in those lighter line sizes. So there's a particular category of gear, if you like, rods, which are trout spey rods. What we've come out with this year is a series of lines to fish and fit on trout spey rods. And kind of simply put, there's two options. One is a tan color. This tan color means it's a Scandinavian style. And a Scandi style is a line with long tapers. It lands softly on the water. It's a great presentation. It's a fun line to cast. And that's what a Scandi is. On the end of this, you can put just a regular leader. You can put a sinking Versa leader on, and on the back end, you have to attach some kind of shooting line because it's a shooting head. For trout anglers who don't like that, which is a lot of people, you can get the box version. And the box version is the same head, but integrated into its own running line. So there's no loop to loop, there's no connection going through the rod guides when you strip it in. It just is a one-piece line. And on the front end, just, hey, attach your leader and fly. So a very, very simple, straight out the box, Scandi version. We also do this in a Skagit version, and a Skagit, for those who don't know, this is kind of the green color. A Skagit is a type of fly line for spey casting that particularly is good at throwing big flies and sinking tips. So if you're fishing streamers, if you're fishing sink tips in the fall or winter and you need to get down, this Skagit is going to be a lot better than that Scandi version. You want to put the Skagit on, and then kind of like that Rio InTouch Trout Spey, this is the InTouch Skagit Trout Spey, you still need a shooting line on the back end and a sinking tip on the front end. And just like the Scandi version, there's a one-piecer. So once again, this is the attached head and the running line all together. And a lot of people just don't like those loops stripping into the rod guides, and so that's what they do. They have that one-piece line and a head on there. And then all you have to do is add your sink tips to this, whether you want a floating sink tip or a floating tip or a sinking tip or an intermediate tip, you have to add a tip in there. These are available really from 2 weights to 5 weights. It's very, very simple. If you've got a 4-weight trout spey rod, you get a 4-weight one of these, and that works beautifully. And if you're new at this game, probably the best solution of all is the InTouch Skagit Trout Spey Versa tip. Because this is just like a fat box that has the entire setup in. So we got a 4-weight here. If you get a 4-weight trout spey rod, if you get this, in here there's a shooting head. There's a shooting line. There's 3 tips. There's a floating tip, there's a half and half tip, which half floating, half sinking, and there's a full sinking tip. So this is a real easy, if you just don't want to get confused and involved in the world of spey, just get this Versa tip version, and you've got every single thing in the box that you need in a just get up and go format. And the last thing that's really cool, I think, about this is that these are built to the length to fish on one-handed rods. So let's say you don't even get into the two-handed kind of family of trout spey casting, and you just have your normal one-handed rod. Guess what? You can use these. These are short enough and designed for one-handed rods. But you've got to remember the rule of 3. And what that means, this is a 3-weight. So that's great on two-handed rods at 3-weight. 3 and 3 is 6. This is great on a one-handed 6-weight rod. That's the rule of 3. So you always add 3 numbers to make this work on a two-handed rod, from a one-handed two-hander. If you get the 4-weight, that's a 4-weight two-hander or a 7-weight one-hander. So I hope that makes sense, or some kind of sense. I love this. We've been fishing this all last spring and in the winter. This is a wonderful tool for just spey casting with trout rods or two-handed trout spey rods. And if you like it, you can get this on Trident fly fishing. Thanks for watching.